Well, a very good morning to you today. Markets are generally down this morning. Surprisingly, actually, I thought they would kind of be neutral, and they might end up neutral because there isn't a lot of news today, any real specific news to drive the markets in any particular direction. There was, the regular balance of trade numbers, of course, which are very important right now as the tariffs are discussed, but everybody knew that they were going to be huge on the negative side because uh, everybody was pulling forward. And these are the March report. So anyway, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Many are speculating today why Tesla is down yesterday and today. All kinds of, because European car sales or this thing or the other thing. Quite frankly, Tesla is following the market around like a little puppy at almost exactly the beta that you would expect. So no, I don't think it has anything to do with anything except maybe at this point, both the general market and Tesla are pretty much just in a profit-taking mode compared to all the big run-up last week, which is kind of normal. And a lot of money, a huge amount of money right now going into other assets, going into gold, not so much Bitcoin today, but has been, Bitcoin has had a nice run up. So you're seeing, some movement out of the equities and into some of these other. There's a lot of conversation about that, at least a lot of headlines. The Fed will speak tomorrow, of course, and if there's no dovish hint in the commentary tomorrow, then I think we will have that could create a negative market. If there is a dovish hint, any kind of anything that's in there that suggests that there's probably going to be a cut in June, the markets will probably rally off of, especially if it stays down today and is down again in the morning, waiting for the Fed information. So I think a lot of tomorrow's action, maybe even Thursday's action, is going to be very dependent on this Fed call right now in this. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty. You got the VIX back up almost to 25 again. I mean, it wasn't that low. It only went down to like 22, but it is back up a little bit. Um, Obviously, people are waiting. The other thing the market is waiting for is tariff deals. Number one, of course, they would love to see that the United States is in serious negotiations with China. And while that might be happening, and we're just not hearing it, a little more visibility on those negotiations might be good. And also with regard to some of the other countries that are supposedly close, Japan, India, Vietnam, etc., getting one or two or three of those inked, I think would give the markets a lot of relief. A lot of relief right now would be good. Meanwhile, Trump's approval ratings continue up. He had a low last week of 48. Every single day, practically since then, it's been moving up, and he's back now to 51%, with his high since election being 53. So overall, the folks seem to be saying he's doing okay. This is from investing.com this morning about Tesla on Tuesday. Goldman Sachs reaffirmed its neutral rating on Tesla stock, maintaining a price target of 235. According to Investing Pro data, Tesla currently trades at 280. It's a little bit under that this morning, like 274, I think, with a market cap of 902 billion. PE ratio of 147.65, suggesting a premium valuation compared to industry peers. No kidding. How about a premium valuation compared to anybody else? The stance comes in light of Tesla's recent update to its full self-driving software in China, which introduced features such as automatic lane change, etc. The software update was pushed to users who had purchased the FSD package, priced at approximately $8,750 in US dollars. Tesla has reportedly launched supervised FSD in China utilizing what? How did I double that? That was odd. However, some reviewers have Tesla has more refined data. Reviews indicate the FSD functionality in China is comparatively successful despite limitations in data collection. Quite frankly, the reviews of FSD in China have been astronomically good, and really nobody else can compare. I mean, seriously. The analysts highlighted that Tesla's FSD is one of the many advanced driver assistance systems in China available to Chinese consumers, with some competitors offering similar features. And as standard, they don't charge. That is true. That's the interesting part. The future of Tesla's FSD technology, particularly in terms of cost and technology advancements relative to its competitors, is seen as a critical factor for the company's long-term economic in the field of autonomy. No. As much as we'd like to get those FSD dollars, the reality is it's all about the robotaxi. Tesla maintains a strong financial position with the last 12 months revenue at $95 billion and gross profit margin 17.66%. Investing Pro analysts indicate the company's overall financial health score is good. Their overall financial health score is amazing, like no debt, $36.7 billion in cash. Anyway, supported by strong cash flows and solid balance sheet metrics. Additionally, there have been reports that China is seeking to implement stricter regulations on the testing, deployment, and marketing of smart driving features. Tesla has expressed intentions to expand its robotaxi services, starting with its launch in June, of course, that we all know about. Should Tesla venture into the robotaxi market in China, it would encounter a competitive environment with several autonomous vehicles offering compelling costs. Yeah, I continue to think that China is going to be a very difficult market for Tesla robotaxis, and it may be something that they will need a partner on in order to make sense. That has been my statement all along, but the United States and Europe and Australia, et cetera, will be very, very big markets. TipRank says this from Jeffries. Jeffries acknowledged that Tesla and its mission is bigger than CEO Elon Musk. Look at that. While Musk is still an important figure, no kidding, Jeffries believes that Tesla's size, product range, long-term focus give it the power to succeed beyond Musk's image. No kidding. They added that Musk's outside ventures have hurt his reputation more than Tesla's, meaning while Jeffries' 5-star rated analyst Philippe Houchoy has reiterated his hold rating on Tesla stock with a price target of 300, suggesting 7% growth from here. So let's talk about that for a minute. Yes, if Elon Musk stepped down today or went back to his home planet, Tesla would not only survive but thrive. There's no doubt about it, especially if they put in place a Tim Cook type of character, because you don't find it's so rare, it's so unusual. People think this is going to happen. It just rarely happens that you get somebody in to take over for somebody like Elon Musk that can continue to do what a Steve Jobs or Elon Musk can do. These people are far and few between, especially on that level and that massive level, thinking so far outside the box, thinking about things like starting an electric car company or a rocket company to go to Mars. Anyway, so no, you're probably going to end up getting a very good manager like a Tim Cook who can come in and manage the company well. Would it be nice to get another Elon Musk if he happened to leave? Sure, but it's unusual and unlikely. Houchoy and his team from Jeffries cautioned that governance issues and Musk's leadership style continue to contribute to stock volatility. True. Despite this, they remain optimistic about Tesla's operating performance and long-term prospects. Earlier, Jeffries had characterized Tesla's Q1 results as superficially weak, but fundamentally resilient. Interestingly, Jeffries believes that Tesla, their real advantage lies in the ability to grow and scale rather than having the most unique self-driving technology. Really. They further highlight Tesla's strength in efficient manufacturing and US-based production as major drivers of its value. So those would be some very important issues, but no, their self-driving system is completely and totally 100% unique and is very important in terms of its valuation. Commenting on the company's robotaxi business, Jeffries estimated this segment could be worth anywhere from $200 billion to $1 trillion. I think that's that might be what it's worth right now before they put the first car out. For their sum of the parts valuation, they used a middle estimate of $500 billion for the robotaxi part, equal to about $160 per share. Tesla's analysts also believe that Tesla's return to a $1 trillion valuation shows shows investor confidence ahead of the robotaxi launch in June. Notably, June should be a pivotal month for Tesla. No kidding. As Tesla plans to launch a robotaxi pilot in Austin, Texas, using Model Y vehicles. Tesla is also investing into stationary energy storage and humanoid robots, though Jeffries says it's too soon to tell if the company will lead in those areas. They already lead by a lot in the energy storage business, and they have no real peers in the energy storage business. And yes, it's too soon to tell whether they'll lead in humanoid robots, but never bet against Elon. Yahoo Finance did a Chat GPT analysis to get the LLM to pick 10 best stock picks. Let me say that again. Yahoo Finance went over to Chat GPT and said, hey, Chat GPT, tell us who you think are the 10 best stocks to buy right now. That's what that headline should have said. Overall, Tesla ranks 10th amongst GPT stock advice. While we acknowledge the potential of Tesla as an investment, it said, our conviction lies in the belief that AI stocks hold greater promise for delivering higher returns and doing so within a shorter time frame. There is an AI stock that went up since the beginning of 2025, while popular AI stocks lost around 25%. I have no idea what that last sentence meant. But anyway, it was just interesting to see that they used the ChatGPT to ask the question. Maybe we should all ask Grok on a daily basis, or at least once a week, what Grok thinks should be in the top 10 stock picks. So AJ said, breaking, Ford's net income dropped 72% year on year to $552 million. Ford's stock is down over 3% in after hours tradings. So that was last night. Earnings per share dropped from 49 cents to 14 cents. And the Jeff Lutz says on X last night, must be brand damage. I mean, how else can you explain why Ford's numbers would be that awful? Oh my goodness. Squawk Square says, I don't quote him very often because I think he gets so much wrong, but he seems to make a lot of money. I'm not sure. Anyway, breaking, he says, NTSB vice chair removed. Elon winning again. And the NTSB has had it out for Tesla for years. Good riddance to the vice chairman. This is Randy Kirk. This is the good time. This is the perfect time to take a minute. I know maybe you're listening on your phone and you're nowhere near the phone, so it'd be hard for you to do this. But if you're anywhere near where you can push the like button, it really, really helps the channel. And then hitting subscribe helps even more, and hitting notify helps you, because later on today, we will have more from Brian White at 7:45, and then we will have Nick Gibbs at 5:15-ish. So you want to be here to hear both of those shows, and that's why you hit notify. And joining Patreon, what's happened with all you people? Are you all that poor? Is everybody out there so their finances are in such a mess? They're looking at the valuation of your stock portfolio going down, and $3 a month is too much for you to tip the Randy guy. I mean, really, and nobody has joined in like 2 weeks. $3 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month. I know that there are some of you who can afford that. And I think maybe from time to time, something I've said on the channel has caused you to take an action, not because it's investment advice, but just because you said that sounded like a good idea. And maybe that made you more than $3 or $6 or even $36. And anyway, I'm not complaining. I will survive without Patreon, but it would just be nice. It would just be nice. Anyway, the real E.G. Antoni had 3 things for me. Real E.J. Did I say E.G.? E.J. Antoni. Good analyst. If you're not following the real, not the real, just real E.J. Antoni, I recommend you follow him. Dallas Fed says this: in March, the number of consumer items rising at annual rates of 10% or more and 5 to 10% or more slowed noticeably, while there's an increasing number of items that had price declines This is a dramatic improvement, he says. Then he goes on to say in a separate post, for those playing along at home, this measure of inflation is now lower than it was at any point of the Biden administration. And then he says, the Dallas Fed again says, trimmed the mean, not the average, not the kind of average you call it the mean, because it could be like really nasty. Anyway, the mean PCE price index moved in the right direction in March as inflation slowed noticeably. This is not this mean PCE price index is not something that other people report. He's one that does report it every month. It moved in the right direction in March as inflation slowed noticeably, with the annualized month-over-month rate falling all the way to 1.8%, the lowest since December of 2020. Noticeably an interesting time, December 2020. Who was the president then? And below the 2.0 target of the Fed. Well, the U.S. trade deficit widened, according to the report out this morning from, I think the Census Bureau does this one. Anyway, the U.S. trade deficit widened to $140.5 billion in March, reaching a fresh record high. That is compared to the $123.2 billion gap in February and the forecast of only $137 billion, so a little bit higher than the forecast, but nobody cares. Everybody knew it was going to be huge. Imports jumped 4.4 also to a new all-time high of 419. What did I say? It should be exports, right? Anyway, exports jumped also 4.4. It says imports jumped. No, exports jumped 4.4. In anticipate, okay. Never mind. Both imports and exports jumped, and both of them were records, all right? I forget the numbers for now because it looks like there's some confusion there. Purchasing rose. The imports rose for pharmaceutical, no kidding. Passenger cars, no kidding. Computer accessories, transport, and in contrast, imports fell for finished metal shapes, monetary gold, crude oil, and travel. Interesting. Meanwhile, exports were up for, there you go. Here's the number. Exports were up 0.2%, but that's still up, but also topped a record amount of $278 billion. Shipments increased for passenger cars, interesting, natural gas, non-monetary gold, computer accessories, transport, and financial services. Only fell for civilian aircraft and travel. Well, okay, folks, it has happened. It has happened. Barbie cannot afford this economy. Mattel just yanked its 2025 forecast, blaming Trump's tariff war for jacking up costs and your toy prices. It's moving its UNO, whatever that is, production to India, cutting its China imports and slapping a price hike on everything from Barbie to Hot Wheels. Doesn't say how much. $270 million in tariff costs later, Mattel's still playing pretend with Wall Street. I have another shocking report from you. Friedrich Merz, the German so-called maybe the next chancellor, will make, I guess he's currently the chancellor, but guess what? He's going to have to make another attempt to secure parliamentary backing as the next chancellor because of his humiliating shock loss in the initial vote. Why would they vote down the chancellor when he was supposed to win the vote? Well, might have something to do with his policies and the things that he's already done in this interim period. Oh my gosh, it's horrible what's happening in Germany. Well, the so-called conservative leader fell short of a majority earlier in the day in a secret ballot Bundestag that was meant to confirm as head of the ruling coalition of the center-right, whatever, bloc and the center-left Social Democrats who have to be in there to get him elected. It was the first time since World War II that an incoming chancellor failed to secure enough support from lawmakers on the first attempt. This is preventing Merz from taking over from outgoing he's not the current chancellor, Olaf Scholz. He was supposed to take over for Olaf Scholz as planned and pitching Europe's biggest economy. Now they're in uncharted territory. What's going to happen if he loses again later today? Maybe I'll remember to report that in the report later with Nicholas Gibbs. Anyway, after talks with other parliamentary groups, including the opposition Greens and the Left Party, they agreed to hold another vote at 3:15 their time. So that might have already happened. What time is it over there right now? Pretty close to 3:15. Anyway, my last comment before we get to the numbers is this. I just loved this headline. Prices are falling on some purchases. Enjoy, economists say. They're not here to stay. Can't give the president credit, can you? Just can't. You can't say prices are falling on some purchases. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for your methods and the things that you're doing. Prices are falling on fruits and vegetables, believe it or not. Falling. They're not just not going up as fast. Prices are falling on diesel fuel and all fuels. Prices are falling on electronics like televisions and smartphones. Prices are falling on a bunch of other things that are related to all of the transition things that the president is doing. What is happening to markets since we started? Have they changed at all? Okay, so Tesla is down 2.2. That is within the 2 to 3 beta that it normally has compared to the NASDAQ, which is down 0.68%. So you multiply that times 3, that would be, it's just a little bit more than 3 beta. So a little bit stronger down than the market right now. The Dow is down 0.37 and the S&P is down 0.47. All of those, including Tesla, are trending up right now. So again, to me, what this looks like was just pure profit taking from last week's run up with no real news to make it go any particular direction. And now we're seeing, we're moving towards recovery. Apple is almost back into the green. Google almost back into the green. Amazon is in the green. Pretty much NVIDIA, which was down over 2%, is now only down 0.83. This is what looks to me like I wouldn't say that the market is going to end in the green necessarily today, but I think it's just going to kind of like this. Trying to find its place in this not much news going on day. Same results in the Cathie Woods. Very, very mixed. Many already in the green. Interesting. Okay, let's go on and take a look at the bonds, which were going the wrong way, but actually improving. So we're still sitting here at 4.349, but it is going the right direction also. Only the 10-year is only the 10-year yield is up right now. All of the other yields are down. 2-month is down 0.3%. 2-year is down 3.8 basis points. So maybe the 10-year is going to follow, and it kind of looks like it is. But man, we're still way too high at 4.349. Not good. Okay, let's go ahead and oh, here we go. I don't have to wait till tonight. Germany's Merz was elected chancellor in the second round, but very embarrassing for him. Will create a situation where it might make it difficult for him to really govern. His approaches to governance so far have been horrific. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the bonds. Now we're down. Okay, no, it's still down 1 basis point. Oil is up $2.32. So I said yesterday it had gone down too far. It had gone down more than the president wanted it to go down. And of course, the oil company certainly didn't want it there. So we're back just under $60. That's right where I'm pretty sure if you ask President Trump, what do you want oil to be selling for? He'd go, hey, under $60. Brent also up about the same amount. Natural gas up 1.77% to 3.61, which is a fine price for natural gas for the industry. When I say fine price for everybody, kind of right there in the middle where the industry likes it, but it keeps inflation down. Gold, big bounce this morning. Apparently a couple of big buyers, headlines that I saw, up $75 to $3,397. Obviously pushing 3,400 real hard. I think, in fact, I noticed a few minutes ago it was over 3,400 for a minute. Silver up 2.76% this morning, 33.37. So Larry last night, if you were watching, Larry said, gee whiz, silver, nobody cares about silver, but you got to remember, silver is not just a commodity. I mean, it's a precious metal theoretically, and I think that's what he meant, but it's also a commodity. Which is used in electronics, and electronics like copper up 1.72% this morning, I think are going to see significant pressure. Those are going to be some commodities that I think will continue to be strong. The dollar is under pressure as investors wait for U.S. trade deficit deals, or trade deals rather. That's what the headline says, but I'm seeing mixed in terms of the actual numbers. Bitcoin down just barely 157, still sitting at 94,000 and change. And that's it. Those are all the numbers that are fit to repeat this morning. We have got, I've said it a couple of times, but you've got Nick Gibbs coming up. You don't be sure to always watch Nick. He's really got some great stuff to say. That'll be around 5:15, almost exactly, usually 7:45 for the second half of the Brian White show, which was fun. We had a great show. He really liked what we did on that second show. That'll be tonight. And then last night, you probably want to go back and watch what Larry and I talked about because it was really quite good. And I'll put Brian White up also from last night. We went around the world and looked at what was happening at each factory. So if you didn't watch that one, a lot of times, Brian gives us that kind of on the ground feel of what's going on at all the different factories, little tidbits that are very, very useful. So I'll put both of those cards up. And one last time, we'll go back and see what Tesla's doing. Almost exactly where it was. No real change. No real change in the markets either. Still kind of in that down, but moving up, but not really that much. Okay. As of this exact moment, that's what we've got. It's Randy Kirk again. It has been great talking to you.